the Pawan Hans Quarters in Juhu, a series of muted cream and brown buildings, look deceptively normal. By day, they are filled with the sounds of life. The drone of air conditioners fighting the Mumbai humidity, the laughter of children playing cricket in the compound, and the distant, reassuring hum of helicopters from the nearby aerodrome. But when the sun dips below the horizon, and the salty air from Juhu Beach turns cold and heavy, the older residents and the night shift watchmen share a different story, a story they tell in hushed tones. It's the story of Flat 4B in the Sea Wing. The legend is tied to the 1,980 seconds, a time when Pawan Hans was still young. A cheerful, highly regarded pilot lived in 4B with his wife and his 6-year-old daughter, Mithi. Mithi was obsessed with her father's job. She had a small wooden toy helicopter, painted a bright, chipped red, that she took everywhere. Her favorite game was to stand on her balcony, which faced the aerodrome, holding her helicopter high and waiting for her father's chopper to appear as a speck in the sky. She would trace its path with her little wooden toy until it landed. One monsoon evening, the sky was a canvas of bruised purple and gray. The rain was merciless. The pilot was on a critical offshore mission. Mithi, wrapped in a sweater, stood on the balcony, her small frame silhouetted against the storm. Her mother called her inside, but Mithi refused, her eyes glued to the dark horizon. "Papa is coming," she'd insisted, her voice barely a whisper against the wind. He never came back. The helicopter went down in the turbulent sea. They found the wreckage days later, but the pilot was never recovered. The grief shattered the family. Within a year, Mithi's mother, a ghost in her own home, moved away. Unable to bear the sight of the aerodrome, Mithi was sent to live with relatives in another city. The flat was eventually reallocated, but something, they say, was left behind. Fast forward to a few years ago, a young trainee engineer, Alok, new to Mumbai and excited about his posting, was assigned Flat 4B. He found it odd that such a well-located flat had been vacant for so long, but he chalked it up to bureaucratic delays. The first week was fine. The second week, the unsettling things began. It started with sounds, a faint, childish giggle that seemed to come from the hallway, which he dismissed as a neighbor's child. Then, the distinct, rhythmic thump-thump-thump of something small and wooden being tapped against the floor tiles in the dead of night. One evening, while working late on his laptop, he felt a sudden, intense, cold spot by the balcony door. The hair on his arm stood up. He glanced at the window pane, dark from the night, and for a split second, saw a reflection that wasn't his. A small face with large, dark eyes, looking out towards the aerodrome. He blinked, and it was gone. He tried to reason it away. Fatigue, stress, the notorious strangeness of Mumbai. The watchman, a weathered old man named Bim Singh, noticed Alok's strained expression. One night, as Alok came back late, Bim Singh stopped him. "Sabdik hai, Sahab?" he asked, his voice low. Alok, desperate to confide in someone, told him about the noises, the reflection. Bim Singh's face hardened. He took a long drag from his beedi and told Alok the story of Mithi. "She is still waiting, Sahab," he finished, his voice heavy. "She doesn't know her papa is never coming home. She is most active during the monsoon, when the sky gets dark like that evening." Alok was a man of science. He didn't believe in ghosts. He thanked the watchman, forced a smile, and went up to his flat, determined to ignore it. That night, a storm rolled in from the sea, a true Mumbai monsoon deluge. The power went out, plunging the entire compound into darkness. Alok lit a candle. The only sounds were the howling wind and the lashing rain. Then he heard it, a soft, heartbreaking sob from the balcony. His blood ran cold. He froze, listening. The sobbing was interspersed with a whisper, a child's voice carried on the wind. "Papa, Papa Kabayenj, when will Papa come home?" Alok's scientific mind screamed at him to stay put, but a morbid, terrifying curiosity pulled him. He slowly walked to the balcony, his heart hammering against his ribs. The glass door was rattling in its frame. As a flash of lightning illuminated the sky, he saw it. A small, translucent figure of a girl, no older than 6, stood on his balcony. Her back was to him, and she was pointing a small, spectral hand towards the dark, stormy sky over the aerodrome. In her other hand, she held something. Another flash of lightning, brighter this time. It was a toy helicopter, small, wooden, and painted a chipped, ghostly red. Alok didn't scream. The sound was trapped in his throat. He stumbled backward, knocking over his chair, and scrambled for the front door. He fled the flat, not even bothering to lock it, and ran down the 4 flights of stairs into the pouring rain. He never spent another night in flat 4B. He broke his lease, paid the penalty, and found a tiny, cramped room in Anteri. The official reason was personal issues, but the other engineers and the old watchman knew the flat is vacant again. Sometimes, on stormy nights, the residents of C-Wing avoid looking at the balcony of 4B. They say that if you look at the right moment, when the lightning flashes, you can still see the lonely silhouette of a little girl holding her red helicopter, forever scanning the violent sky for a father who is never coming home.